Welcome to season 2 of Unplug to Plug In the Connection series. Today we are going to talk about hyper-caffeinated doom scrolling. I am Amy.
Cleopatra.
I'm Caitlin.
So these can go together and they can also be separated. But, doom scrolling is more and more is coming out about. We talk about it. We've had our season 1 with Unplug that you can look at all of the different ones there on YouTube and our site. But hyper-caffeinated people just don't even stop or slow down. And the doom scrolling, it influences it programs us and conditions our brain, our body without us even knowing it. Everything that we are consuming, everywhere we are going, it is like people's nervous systems just don't even shut down. They are just going faster than the Energizer Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dangerous. What's going on? What is controlling our world? What is controlling people? What is controlling people's minds and bodies? And God and the truth and wisdom aren't even able to be a part of it.
Well,
The spirit is like separated.
right. And before our feet even hit the floor, I feel like our minds sometimes are already running a huge marathon of just information everywhere. And so scrolling through, headlines, reels, news, opinions, different notifications, and all of a sudden we're trying to absorb all of that, and our minds, they cannot keep up.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot handle it. And the devices, the watches people wear, tablets, you name it, everything's in bed with them. It's in the bathroom with them. It's at the table with them. It is in the restaurants. It's in line at the grocery store. It's at the post office. It's sitting on the couch. It's everywhere. And it's time to stop. It's time to live slow. It's time to slow down. It's time to get the word out. Let's unplug, to plug into what truly matters most.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that because I think we've talked about this before, there's extremes of these things too. So like you go too far to one extreme where, like you were just describing, the technology is everywhere, whatever. And then there's other people that are so afraid of it or resistant to it that they're also not utilizing it wisely in their life. So like in this case, there's not a lot of middle ground in a lot of things anymore, but you have to, and it's not about being in the middle, it's about respecting what technology's usages are for, whether that's recording these videos or reaching people that you couldn't otherwise reach or whatever that looks like, but then having boundaries with it where it's not constantly with you. You don't need your phone in your hand all the time. You don't need to be doom scrolling, all of that. And so I think what we're trying to say is that we're talking about the one extreme where it's with you all the time in this particular video. And so to that, I would say, especially as someone who, for our businesses, we do rely on using technology. We can't do these things without using technology. And so it is about having those boundaries, and it is about realizing that not everything is evil about it, not everything is negative about it, but understanding its limits of what you should be using it for. And so, like for me, and we've talked about this in other videos, so you can go back and watch those because we've talked about these topics in depth, but have no phone zone rooms in your house, whether that's the bathroom or your bedroom or, whatever. The dinner table. We don't have our phones when we're eating meals unless we have an exception of, I want to show you something, or we need to get up and make a phone call or answer a phone call like that, or an emergency comes up, something like that. But when we regularly sit down to eat, we sit down to eat and we talk about things across the dinner table. Like that's how it always was before. That's something that I feel like is a good first step, actually, even. And so I think I don't know how to word it, but like reclaiming the technology almost. So like instead of it controlling you, which is basically the one extreme where it's like everywhere with you at all times, you're reclaiming control of it and saying, I'll use you for what it is useful and what I need to, but I have limits, and defining those
You're the
defining.
master, the technology is the
Yeah.
servant instead of vice versa. Because whoever's coming through on that technology is actually becoming their master and you're becoming the servant.
Well, yeah, and then immediately it floods our minds with negativity, with stress, with noise, and just examples like, bad news and cycling through all of that comparison on social media. One thing that I've really noticed recently is the arguments in the comment sections. It's ridiculous. We'd never say these things. Well, I wouldn't say we'd never because things don't surprise me anymore, but we say a lot of these things on social media that I know we wouldn't say in person. And so we're constantly going through these things. Our nervous system is already stimulated the way it is, and then we add this mental chaos on the top of it and on the top of all of that. And so, it leads to an exhaustion. And Cleopatra was saying we need to reclaim or we need to transform what technology was actually meant for to be a helpful, useful tool instead of like literally just glued to it, not really knowing how to use it wisely.
And to build on that, you said, go ahead. She said something. I don't know if I'll remember.
Like an example is we've been going for a lot of walks already this year. We're only at the end of March and we've been able to walk a lot of the year because we've had a nice winter for the most part. But during these walks, we've been out like walking around lakes, and there are a lot of people walking and enjoying nature. There are. But there are people that are walking on their phone. And I'm like, I feel like that is one thing. You could go for a 15-minute walk and not use your phone. Right, but I'm saying if you're starting out, do these small things of don't have it at the dinner table. Go for a 10 to 15-minute walk without your phone. It's like those are the things that are supposed to recharge us naturally, and they do. Like after those walks that we've been taking, it's like, wow, I feel good. We've been able to get some sun the past week or so. And like those things are what you're missing out on by being so engrossed in your technology when you're not using it wisely, when you're letting it control you. And so like even making a list of activities that you can replace it with, just like we've talked about in our mental attire series of bad habits, make a list of what you can replace that with. So instead of doom scrolling, what can you do? Can you go for a walk? Can you cook something? Can you, like have things that you can replace it with, healthy things that you can replace it with. Because just like Mom has said before, if you just quit, then there's going to be a gap there, and probably some unhealthy habit, if you're not conscious and aware of what you're doing, is going to come in and fill that gap. Something even the same level of unhealthy as that was, or something unhealthier.
Worse.
And so it's like you have to control it, but then you also have to control what you're doing outside of that, because there are other habits that it could lead to that would be just as bad, And so, for me, I can't remember what the quote is, but I've seen quotes like, if you are able to be bored, that is a privilege, because that means that you have time on your hands that you could be doing something with. And that doesn't mean you have to be, I don't want to say productive, because everything like these habits that we're talking about is productive, but it doesn't mean that you have to be grinding all the time. It means you can enjoy some of that time by taking time for walking or cooking or baking or whatever things like that you enjoy. And so I would encourage you the next time you feel bored, quote unquote bored, to realize, okay, this is a privilege. How am I going to use this time that I have on my hands?
And something to understand is we have our habits, we have our behaviors, how we behave. The roots below it are our beliefs. Beliefs about us, beliefs about the world. The roots, we have two sets. We have the lies, which produce consequences that we really don't like. And then we have the truth, which produces the rewards in our life. And if you change the habits up here that's from the lies, but you don't actually get to the roots of what the causes of those are, a lot of, from childhood, from whatever it may be, or experiences, or how things are going collectively with that, whatever it is. If you don't change those weeds are going to come back, like Cleopatra was saying. And honestly, you can't just even change the behaviors. That's why you got to replace it. But understand why you're needing to replace it. Why do you even go to those habits? What is it that you need to heal and work through and restore and replace with the truth? Because I was gonna say, oh, gosh, dang, I start listening to you all and then I cannot remember. I don't remember. I had something with it. I don't know. And hyper-caffeinated, I feel like it's not even just caffeine, but I would say get away from it. We have our addictions and we have our unplug digital addictions that we're talking about right now. But understand that these will never get you what you're wanting. Addiction means we are never going to get enough of what we don't want. We keep going back for what we don't want. And we have to understand there's some things inside of us that we need to change. Like we talk about with our mental attire. We have to change at the root, the beliefs. That's the only way. And with the hyper-caffeinated doom scrolling, it's not going to get you anywhere except more of what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would say too, what would happen, just like as some reflection questions for you, what would happen if, the first thing you did in the morning wasn't, grabbing your phone, or if it wasn't going for caffeine, or what if our mind woke up before all of this noise entered it? What if we gave ourselves time? Unplugging could mean, and Cleopatra was, I think, listing off some things too, but putting down the phone for the first 30 minutes of the day, sitting in the quiet. Quiet makes people uncomfortable. I have learned to consider it a blessing. I've loved it. Taking a walk or reading something meaningful, prayer or reflection. It's important to, we're encouraging you to unplug, but you can plug into these meaningful things that actually do a lot for you, a lot for your nervous system, a lot for your spiritual walk with God. So definitely, I think replacing with those things and being still and being grateful, keeping a gratitude journal, shifting from the noise to things that actually center us.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I would say that one thing is even just being present in conversation with other people. It's a very, I think, underrated or underthought about is not a word, but it's not necessarily thought about like I think it should be, of just being present during a discussion with somebody, whether that's in person or over the phone or whatever it is, but like taking the time to enjoy that conversation without getting distracted by 100 other things on your phone, especially if none of them are actually like directly related to you. Like the doom scrolling and stuff, that is not directly related to you. And so I would encourage you just to look at yourself and say, am I being present in my conversation or my interactions with people, with my family, with, whoever it is. And so I think that's something that once you become aware of it, it might even be hard to like imagine how you were doing it before. Like once you start actually enjoying those conversations and being present for them, you'll be like, how did I do it before? Or how disrespectful it was to the people I was talking to. And so that's another thing that I would encourage you to pay attention to.
Something I would invite you to, we've talked about it, but quiet time. We have a video and a reflection sheet you can print out. Or like she was talking about, just get a pen and paper, or I use a pencil and paper. Doesn't have to be sentences, doesn't have to be anything, but just why you don't want to do quiet time, why people don't want to do quiet time, because they're going to hear what they don't want to hear, what they need to hear also. You're going to hear what you are avoiding and ignoring, and you're going to hear what God's trying to tell to you through your spirit to you. God is in every single cell of our body. Our spirit is here to guide us and lead us. God is here, but doing quiet time is where the answers are. That is it. And the more you do it, the better you're going to feel, and your life will get better as long as you do honor and respect. Because like Cleopatra was talking about disrespecting, you realize these things after you get away from those habits, but understand you're not even respecting yourself. You're not even honoring yourself of what God's given you, what we have, our mind and our body, our brain and our body, and the people close to us. Get away, like Caitlin said, the noise, the distractions. I'm telling you, that's not where the answers are. It's not, you will not ever find it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like that though. I'm going to say under thoughts and under thinking. I'm going to use those words. I think that's good because I think people are overthinking and having too many thoughts about things they don't need to, and they're underthinking. They're not thinking about what they need to be, the truth, the wisdom. Just even repeat the word peace or calm or something to start changing your habits, breathing and just quiet is healing. Quiet is restoring. Quiet is where the answers are. It's not the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, takeaways.
Well, I'll go first. She looks deep in thought, so I'll go first. Like what are you feeding, reflection questions for yourself. What are you feeding your mind before the day begins? Or are you starting, super caffeinated and scrolling, chaotic, or are you awake? Are you aware? Are you experiencing things fully? And maybe, the most powerful morning habit isn't more input, but it's a little bit more quiet. So, coffee, it'll wake up the body. Scrolling, it'll wake up the mind. But the problem isn't caffeine or technology. It's when stimulation replaces being intent, or replaces intention. And so we definitely need to make sure that we're being intentional with the time, with the resources that God has given us. I don't think He would want us to scrolling constantly all the time when He's given us so many blessings just around us, just even just family. That alone is a big blessing. And so you think about that and you think about all the little things that He gives you. What are you doing with those? And so I tend to always go back with that, but I think that would be my takeaway. What are you doing with what God's giving you?
Mm-hmm. And I think building off of that, to determine things that you enjoy doing. Like if you haven't done it for a while, if you haven't just gone for a walk in a while or cooked something or even color, there's different coloring books that aren't like children's ones, but then they make adult ones now just to help people,
a plain piece of paper and just draw, and who cares what it looks like.
Find things that you enjoy doing and then do them. Like actually enjoy it and be present and do it and invite your family members or, whoever to do it with you if it's applicable. And so I would just say, have fun with this. Because, it is serious. What we're talking about is serious. But then also on the flip side, it's supposed to be fun to reprogram and to invite these other things into your life. So, I would say, I would encourage you not to take those activities too seriously. Take making the changes seriously and understanding the repercussions of them seriously, but then have fun with changing those habits or incorporating new activities into your day or whatever it is. So I guess that would be my takeaway.
And, you can check out under the Highway channel our What Truly Matters Most, because we have on there about hydration with water, sleep, naps, rest. We're going to have a lot more in meals, snacks. Cleopatra needs food and water, evidently. She's yawning. Look at check out our mental tire, but look at the body. Be thankful for what you've been given. Just start, like Caitlin had said, with gratitude. Just start with what we're grateful for, because once we start there, gratitude always brings it. Do you want to be doing mindless things or do you want to be doing mindful things? And I would invite you to do quiet time. That would be a huge takeaway. Watch the video as many times as you need to and print out that sheet or just have plain paper. And yes, it may not be pleasant, but just know that you can get to the other side. There is another side, and it's for you. It's for everyone. So we appreciate you. We are thankful for you. No one nor family shall do life alone. So please do reach out and connect with us. Check out our YouTube, the Highway channel, and also on our site here. And we also do have the Unplug course and other products that we offer. And then we also offer a lot of educational resources and materials at no charge. And take care.